Good afternoon and happy Saturday as we welcome you back in here to VA Memorial Stadium, home of the Chillicothe Paints. Game 2 of our quadruple header here this afternoon, the second of 2 Division VI District Semifinals that were originally scheduled to be played down at South Point last night. We touched at the top of last broadcast how just unpredictable the weather has been this season, and it struck once again in the district tournament, but a great job by the Southeast District Athletic Board with a lot of moving parts. There's a lot more to look at now with the 7 divisions versus the 4 that it used to be, and they were able to get everything scheduled to today, pushed a couple of district finals to tomorrow. Shane, we were talking in between streams. We'll have you for the 2 p.m. game tomorrow, so that would be the Division 7 game. But for this one right here, Eastern Brown and Waterford facing off. The number 6 seeded Wildcats taking on the number 3 seeded Wildcats taking on the number 6 seeded Eastern Brown Warriors. This winner will take on the team we just saw in a big way advance onto the district final tomorrow, the Southeastern Panthers. Shane, glad to have you back for another game.
Yeah, real exciting. I think it's a great opportunity here for Eastern Brown Waterford to earn a chance to go in the district championship. Southeastern obviously won't have McWhorter available tomorrow, so you get a little deeper into their pitching staff. But first things first, we talked about the moving parts, Waterford and Eastern Brown. You have all that time off, and then you think you're going to play last night, and then you don't, and it gets moved again, and now it's moving this game. So bus times change and the travel and all those different things. But once you're here, I think baseball is baseball, and I think both these teams will be ready to go. Both programs have been on this stage before, and I think we should get a pretty good one.
And Shane, this isn't an official number, but it's something that I found just by looking at their schedule. From what I believe I saw, it looks like Eastern Brown has had 9 games canceled this season. Only an 11-7 record, so only 18 games under their belt. Not a lot of baseball. They haven't played since May 22nd. That was their tournament win over Peebles. But 9 games canceled in one season, that's tough, and it makes it hard to get into a groove.
That's pretty much been par for the course. I think most of the teams in our area were anywhere from 6 to 9 down. And look, it's just been one of those springs with the rain and the inconsistencies, a lot of afternoon rain, a lot of uncertainty on, can the fields be ready? Should we get on the bus and go, or should we cancel it? And then different conferences have different viewpoints on rescheduling. And look, it's been a mess, and everyone's had to deal with it. Now you get to the tournament time, and you settle in on this one game. And Eastern Brown Waterford, I'm sure they've had plenty of time to prepare. They're going to know their opponent well, know what they need to do to be successful, and come down to execution as we watched a lot in that first game today.
So for Eastern Brown, obviously into the tournament, the lower-seeded team will bat in the visiting half of each inning. So we'll go through the batting lineup for Steve Goetz and the Eastern Brown Warriors. Goes as follows: Jaden Florence, Drew Edmiston, Jackson Prine, Price Murphy, Braxton Vance, Mason Riggs, Kane Dotson, Will Litzinger, and Peyton McCarthy. On the mound for the Wildcats, Colton Jones will go through the defensive alignment. Behind Jones in the outfield from left to right, Cam Johnson, Jared Heiss, Braun Doak. And in the infield from third to first, Xavier Heiss, Avery Pottmeyer, Wade Booker, and Cole Hansel at first. Hayden Jones behind the plate for head coach Chris Schmidt and the Waterford Wildcats.
Well, you look at both of these teams, and the thing you look at is the conferences that they come from. Obviously, Waterford and the TVC Hawking, really good baseball. We're going to see Eastern Meg's the champion here in a little bit. I know I've studied and watched quite a bit of Trimble and Racine Southern last year and this year, and then Waterford in that mix as well. So you're talking about pretty good Division VI, Division VII baseball there. And then for Eastern, they're over in the shack, or what a lot for the longest time was the Southern Hills League. That Southern Hills Athletic Conference now. You and I watched Lynchburg. I know they went on to win the district championship down there. Now, a lot of people will tell you that the depth of that conference isn't quite as good as it's been. It's in a little bit of a reloading phase. But nonetheless, this Eastern Brown, they've had some recent experience in the tournament. They've had some really good pitching. And so I expect them to show up and be ready to play a really good baseball game today.
You talk about the really good pitching. We'll go ahead and shift over to the defensive side of things for Eastern Brown. Looks like they're going to go with their ace, Price Murphy, is senior. This will be his 13th appearance of the season now through 12. 53 and 2/3 innings pitched, an 8-4 record, 1.7 ERA, 100 strikeouts coming into this afternoon, led the Shack in both wins and strikeouts. First team all-district selection.
Well, and you and I have seen firsthand what the strikeout stat can do. We watched it in the Wheelersburg game the other night with Con. We watched it with McWhorter. The times today Sims Valley was able to get McWhorter in play, some good things happened, but 13 strikeouts in that first game for him. The other night, I think you had Con unofficially for 15. So the strikeout matters. I mean, it's one of those things when you get to the two-strike situation, Waterford's going to have to be able to shorten up and get the ball in play, and if they're able to do that, then they put themselves in a position to be successful.
Batting lineup for the Wildcats goes as follows. We mentioned both Joneses pitching and catching. It'll be Hayden Jones, the catcher, leading things off. Colton Jones follows in the 2-hole. Xavier Heiss, Braun Doak, Wade Brooker, Cole Hansel, Avery Potmeyer, Cole Mullinex, and Cam Johnson.
The Ohio High School Athletics Association Department and the Chillicothe Paints. Welcome to VA Memorial Stadium for today's Division VI.
Looks like we're getting closer now. The infield's been wrapped up, and umpires are making their way out of the locker room through the third base dugout entrance there, and you get the lineup cards going here.
Umpiring crew this afternoon behind the plate. It's Mark Trainer. Talked to him yesterday. Me and my dad went over to Carl's and I asked him, was he going to do any of these games today? He said, no, my group's done, unless something happens. Well, clearly something happened, as Mark Trainer is the home plate umpire for us this afternoon. Up the first base line, it's Alan Hoosier, and down the third base line, Ralph Merritt.
Well, that's just another situation of logistics when you're trying to move all these things around. You not only have the teams, the buses, the site on where you're going to host and who's going to move, but then you also have umpires that maybe were scheduled to do other games that now are going to get doubled up, where they thought, hey, I've got this game Friday night and this game Saturday. When all of a sudden Friday doesn't happen and Friday gets moved to Saturday, you need a whole nother crew of umpires. So again, the Southeast District Board earning their keep this week and doing a nice job of keeping this all situated through what's been a really, really rainy spring.
So game one of our quadruple header was a 13-6 final. Southeastern getting the best of Sims Valley, a 7 seed, advancing on to the district final tomorrow at 5 p.m. Some great baseball here at the VA to follow. We see Chad Carroll and his squad, the Huntington Huntsmen, rolling into VA. They have a big matchup, a clash of a couple of green teams taking on the Eastern Eagles in the 4 p.m. slot. Obviously, schedule is subject to change. This game was originally slated for a 1:30 start. It's about 1:45 now, and we're still awaiting first pitch. And then we'll wrap it up around 7 p.m. South Webster and Southern, a Division VII district final, and we mentioned the Division VI and Division VII district final tomorrow as well. So a couple more, actually a handful of more district round games to be played here at the VA before the Division III regional comes here next Thursday and Friday.
We needed this lineup card meeting here in the first game. Remember, the first game they ended up starting about 6 minutes early on us. Here, there's some detailed grounds, some rules going on here.
And for those maybe tuning in for the first time this spring, or even for those in attendance making their way out to VA Memorial Stadium for the first time this spring, brand new facility, brand new playing surface laid down. The wall was rebuilt, repainted. Instead of the old green and yellow, it is now blue with red trim along the top. Scoreboard was repainted from green to dark blue. They've added some padding. You can't see it. Now you can see it from the center field camera, but some blue padding behind home plate makes it a little bit safer for those catchers chasing foul balls that go behind the plate. Makeover that was much needed and really highlights what money can do.
Well, I totally agree. It's been such an incredible facility for baseball in our area. It's been an ambassador of our game. I mean, it's not just what the Chillicothe Paints have brought to the community for quite some time now, but the incorporation of high school baseball and how much it's allowed the kids from all over the Southeast District to get the opportunity to play here. So certainly glad to see that they invested in it, and it's still going to be a part of our baseball community for quite some time.
So the Wildcats take the field again. Colton Jones on the mound for the Wildcats. Cam Johnson, Jared Heiss, Braun Doak in the outfield. In the infield, Xavier Heiss, Avery Pottmeyer, Wade Booker, and Cole Hansel at first. Hayden Jones behind the plate. Didn't get a chance to see Waterford football in action this past season, but a couple of years ago, Week 12 game, Waterford at Eastern Pike. It's a playoff game. Hayden Jones and the Wildcats absolutely played their tail off, and me and my dad did that game, and very impressed with what Hayden Jones did, not only throwing the ball, but running the ball as well. So definitely the kind of guy you want playing that catcher spot. We've highlighted some of the great catcher play that we've seen over the course of the last few days here at the VA. Expect another one here with Hayden Jones.
Yeah, no question. And it just, like I said before, it kind of ends up quarterbacking your whole team. I mean, the energy and the effort, you're touching the ball on every pitch and working really, really hard for your pitcher in terms of calling the game and framing, keeping the ball in front, but it also just sets a tone for energy. And a lot of people might think, well, what are you talking about in baseball? I don't know what's it mean to really play hard or not. That's crazy. I mean, we saw it with Lucasville Valley the other night, their ability to play hard and how much they created. So it really is a culture thing, and my experience, it has a lot to do with that catcher position.
Are you in favor of signals from the dugout calling the game, or do you let your catcher handle it?
Over my 30 years, I've almost always let the catcher do it. Now, we've had a ton of conversation. We have a lot of teaching that goes on early on. And obviously, the older they get in their career, they get a little bit better sense. But I know a lot of coaches call every pitch, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially with the technology and the different ways we can do it quicker now. But for me, I've always kind of tried to get the players to do it on their own.
So the left-hitting shortstop, Jaden Florence, going to lead things off for Eastern Brown. Xavier Heiss plays in up the third baseline. On the season, Florence, a sophomore, .265 average, does have 4 extra base hits, a pair of doubles and a pair of triples. 1-1 misses low, 2 balls and 1 strike to Florence.
Pretty simple wind up here, good repeatable mechanics, been right around the plate here in the early going.
Jones fights back, evens it up at 2-2. Florence sawed off right back to the mound. Colton Jones underhand flipped to Hansel at first base, 1 away.
Good way to settle in for Jones. We always talk about the nerves and being able to settle in the first inning, find your release point. Again, able to throw strikes there on the first batter and then field his position to get the easy out to get us started here.
Now the catcher, Drew Edmiston. Edmiston, a second-team All-District selection. In the winter, missed 16 of 23 basketball games for head coach Rob Buechler and the Eastern Brown Warriors. Lower body injury. Glad to see him back here in the spring, batting .302. 4 doubles, 5 RBI for the senior.
Yeah, especially as a senior, you hate to hear things like that. You get the 4 opportunities to do this, and a lot of his basketball season taken from him there. Now getting a chance to have a great spring on the diamond.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Drew Edmiston. Did make a 3-pointer in his final game against Chesapeake. District semifinal down at the Waverly Downtown Gymnasium.
Big sweeping breaking ball there on 2-2. Let's see what he comes back here on the 3-2.
3-2 pitch in there, called strike 3.
Came back fastball in the inner half and catches the top corner of the strike zone there for the backwards K.
Now the first baseman, Jackson Prine. Prine, without a doubt, the most productive offensive player for Eastern Brown. .439 average, 10 doubles, 16 RBI. He fouls this one up to the right side and out of play. Prine leads the team in all of those categories, also the second most doubles in the shack behind Manchester's Luke Applegate.
Same way a pitcher settles in, sometimes the hitter as well. Kind of chases a little there, now has him in an 0-2 hole.
0-2 up and in.
You assume that's just a show-me pitch. Goes a little harder up and in. I would expect him to come back here with the off-speed.
The 1-2 pitch chopped foul. We'll try it again.
So now let's see which way he goes. He's been able to show him both, trying to change the eye level. If he goes with the fastball, I assume it'll be off the plate.
1-2 up and in off the shoulder of Jackson Prine. For Eastern Brown, a man aboard with 2 outs for Price Murphy.
Pitcher number 1, Price Murphy.
He came back to the off speed and just caught him on the arm there. So a little bit of an unforced error. Now cleanup hitter will get a swing at it here in the first inning.
Throw down to first base. Gets past Hansel. Doak in right field backs it up and gets it back into the infield. So Prine remains put at first base.
Good heads-up baseball, moving on every pitch. In that case, saves his team a base. Keeps Eastern Brown from moving up into scoring position.
Murphy straight away center. Jared Heiss makes the grab to retire the side. 4 batters faced. Scoreless inning tossed by Colton Jones, who'll head to the home half of the inning. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at glocknercdjr@portsmouth.com.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Back here in Chillicothe, scoreless first inning tossed by Colton Jones. The first 3 due up for the Wildcats: Hayden Jones, Colton Jones, and Xavier Heiss. On the mound is Price Murphy, his 13th appearance of the season, 53 2/3 innings pitched by the senior. An 8-4 record, a 1.70 ERA. Along with 100 strikeouts, led the shack, regardless of division in wins and strikeouts.
Well, obviously the 100 strikeouts is the stat that jumps right out at you. So again, taking care of nearly 2/3 of the outs on the year. So as we've highlighted so much during our coverage of district play here, the importance of getting the ball in play and putting pressure on the high school defense, particularly the ground ball defense.
Again, the winner of this one will go on to face Southeastern tomorrow evening. 5 p.m. first pitch right back here at the VA.
Senior Murphy, good-looking athlete on the mound, comes over the top. Seems like throws with a little bit of velocity, which you'd expect when you see that strikeout total.
Leading off for Waterford, the catcher number 10, Hayden Jones.
So the catcher, Hayden Jones. He'll lead things off for Waterford. First pitch in there for a called strike, 0-1.
See the sophomore catcher leading off, gives you an idea of athleticism, hitting in that one hole, not always the norm for the catcher position. See it in high school level, probably a little bit more than the upper levels, but still nonetheless not probably considered the norm.
1-1 fouled away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hayden Jones. One, two, a check swing at the plate. They go down to Alan Hoosier. He says no offer. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jones.
Good pitch there, just off plate. Expect him to get more aggressive in the zone here.
2-2 popped up. Mask off for Edmiston into foul ground. And off the tip of the glove, can't bring it in. We'll try the 2-2 again.
Tough play as he comes back and able to haul it in. Kind of new life for Jones here to see if he can still spark the Wildcats here in the opening inning.
Two in there, strike 3 called. Leadoff man down on strikes for Price Murphy.
The pitcher, number 12, Colton Jones.
Now the starting pitcher for Waterford, Colton Jones.
Murphy, decent sized kid on the mound there. Like I said, over the top, throws with some pretty good velocity. Works from the stretch.
0-1 popped up middle of the infield. Florence coming to his left makes the grab, 2 away.
Outstanding job by the shortstop to take charge. That ball goes way up in the air, and the most helpless feelings when you get 3 or 4 people starting to look at it like I got it, you got it, and shortstop takes control. You think that ball's clear on the second base side of the bag, but right from the time that went up, he took charge and called it out. Really, in your fly ball communication, your center fielder rules everything with your corner outfielders after that. But then as you come into the infield, it's the shortstop that pretty much calls it off. It's his. Yeah, we talked a lot about kids working from the stretch and not using the windup. Really, it makes for repeatable mechanics, which you certainly get there with Murphy.
Seems like once you get to the college level and even the professional level, when you have guys that are set aside for relief, you see a lot more relief guys going to that stretch-only approach.
Yes, I think at the higher levels it would be less likely to see a starting pitcher doing this.
You also see some modified windups where you set up like it's the stretch. Brent Suter comes to mind, a guy that steps as a lefty, steps back towards third, then kind of back towards first before getting into his motion.
Yeah, and you made a good point in coverage earlier this week. A lot of times a pitcher who is good at bat going on here, fights off another two-strike pitch, a lot of times it helps the hitter time it up when the mechanics are so repeatable. So it's kind of funny. You think over the years we tell these pitchers, repeat your mechanics, but I've seen exactly what you were talking about there earlier in the week, where a little bit of that dysfunction can throw off the timing of the hitter.
2-2 swing and a miss. Xavier Heiss down on strikes. 2 Ks in the inning for Price Murphy. Top of the second. When we come back to Chillicothe, 5-6-7 due up for the Eastern Brown Warriors. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Back here in Chillicothe, 5-6-7 due up for the Warriors in their half of the second inning. It's Braxton Vance, Mason Riggs, and Kane Dotson. On the season, Vance, a junior, 346 average, 2 doubles, district honorable mention. 8.6 rebounds per game in the winter for head coach Rob Buechler. And Shane, I don't know how much you keep up. Obviously, I had to with just the way we operate and the podcast and everything, but it's an Eastern Brown team that has been just on the edge of that district title appearance the last couple of seasons. And really the last 2 seasons, they've came 1 game shy of playing at the Convo. Just 2 years ago, it was a sectional final loss to South Point. Last year, a loss to Chesapeake in the district semis. Braxton Vance is hitting the leadoff man as aboard for the Warriors.
Second guy's hit. Yeah, you're talking about a program there that's obviously rich in tradition and right there. And you mentioned some injuries and some different things that can play a factor in that.
Vance, one of those guys that'll be back next season. Grady Barber coming back as the leading scorer. Heiss moving up the line at third, time called. Prior to the pitch, it's Mason Riggs at the plate. 220 average throw over to first. Vance head first, slide back in safely.
Sometimes when you square around early, you just want to see what the defense will show you here with them holding on the runner on this turf. That first base side, you got a lot of room. That time he just doesn't get the bat set and pops it up over the first base dugout. But if you're able to bunt this ball hard, basically right at the right fielder, if you're looking at a target, could be a lot of trouble for this particular bunt defense.
Heiss continues to play in at third.
Now at 0-2, less likely to go back to the bunt, but you never know.
0-2, swing and a miss. Throw down to first is not in time. There's one away here in the second. Second strikeout for Colton Jones.
Yeah, the pitching's been really good here in the early going. Obviously, Jones has hit two guys on the inside corner on the curveball there on the shoulder, but for the most part, Jones and Murphy throwing the ball pretty well.
Now Dotson squares around a bunt. This one falls foul.
So Eastern Brown a couple times now been asked by their coach to execute in the small ball game and been unable to do so.
Dotson, a sophomore, just a 167 average. No extra base hits, 9 RBI. Dotson once again squares, pulls it back. Heis continues to play up the third base line.
Job of pulling back there. Strikes only on the sacrifice. Now ahead 2-1. See if the bunt stays on.
Dotson again tries to lay one down, but it falls foul.
Yeah, both guys trying to bunt this inning. You'll see where they're not getting the bat extended out in the fair territory. The bat's lagging back, and it just closes off the entire field for you, and as a result, it's been foul. 2 strikes last time. They ended up taking the bunt off.
2-2. Dotson tries to get it down, but can't make contact, and it's the second strikeout of the inning for Colton Jones.
Left fielder, number 20, Will Litzinger.
So again, doing everything they can to try to get that guy into scoring position, unable to execute.
3 strikeouts now for Jones as he faces the left fielder, Will Litzinger. So Litzinger also below the Mendoza line, a 163 average.
You know, and you look at some different things. Obviously, Eastern's been successful with the way they've been able to pitch this year. Offense maybe a little harder to come by.
Litzinger pops it up. Left side of the infield, Potmeyer makes the grab. Jones works around a leadoff hit batter. Another scoreless and hitless frame for Colton Jones. We'll take a break. Bottom of the second when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie & Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Back here in Chillicothe, bottom of the second inning. 4-5-6 due up for the Wildcats. Braun Doak, Wade Booker, and Cole Hansel. 1-2-3 bottom of the first for Bryce Murphy. He struck out 2.
Yeah, Murphy, as advertised with the strikeout stat, hard throwing righty, good off speed. Pretty much a here it is, hit it type of guy, comes right at the hitter. So real impressed with his stuff here. First time getting a chance to see him pitch in person.
The second of 2 Division VI District Semifinals here at the VA this afternoon. Both winners going on to play tomorrow at 5 p.m. District final on the line. I've already seen one team on the girls' side of the spring sports season advance to the state tournament out of the Southeast District. Hillsborough with a win over Logan Elm. It's one of those instances where we're guaranteed a team to make it because you have 2 Southeast District teams in the regional final.
We were talking about the pitcher there from Hillsborough on the air the other night. What an amazing career that's been.
1-1 swung through. It caught a piece of Edmiston.
Umpire will give a courtesy walk out to give the catcher a second. Really, with the stuff of Murphy throwing that hard with that sharp a break to the outside part of the plate, if you're not committed to hitting the ball to right field the way we talked about in game 1, you're really playing right into his high strikeout total.
Have you seen a team more willing and more effective going backside than Southeastern just about an hour ago?
Well, I think the coaching deserves a lot of credit for that, Coach Free. And again, when I say coaching, you're not just talking about here in the last 2 weeks. You're talking about over the last 2 years. As kids grow, a lot of times it's hard to get the freshman, sophomore to buy into it a little bit. As they get older, they buy into it. And I think the Southeastern offense is really growing. There's a good piece of backside hitting that we're talking about right there.
2-2 back up the middle. First base knock of the ball game.
That's a great example of what we're talking about. That ball in the outer half, as hard as he's throwing, if you're going to try to pull the baseball, you're going to pull off the baseball. If you do put it in play, it's going to be very weak contact. The ability to stay on it, let it travel, and hit that ball back up the middle or to right field comes off with a lot more exit velocity, and you're hitting the ball much harder.
So Braun Doak is aboard with a leadoff single. Now the second baseman, Wade Booker.
That being a leadoff variety and working the way down the order, I would expect bunt here if I'm Eastern.
So Brooker squares to bunt, pops it up foul.
Again, Dewey, what we're seeing on both sides against 2 good right-handed pitchers, the inability to execute and some of the little things that's keeping the offense from putting pitchers in a more pressure situation throughout the inning.
Oh, 1 Brooker squares, pulled back in time. 1-1.
Eastern coming pretty aggressive on both sides, bringing the second baseman over. That's where you open yourself that first to third. You got to make sure you rotate back.
Brooker squares right back to the pitcher, Murphy. It does touch the turf, so he'll throw it down the first base line. Ball is dropped by Prime, throw down to third as the base is dislodged is in time. As Doak looked to go first to third, an outstanding throw from Jackson Prime. As Doak is nabbed at third base for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, a lot going on there. From what I could tell, when the ball had come back, Prime was ready to throw, Murphy was ready to throw the ball, and the second baseman hadn't made it over yet. So when he double clutched, then kind of brought the base runner into him. A lot of heads up there to stay with it and record the out across the diamond.
So 1 out, 1 man aboard for Cole Hansel. Hansel, the right-hitting first baseman.
Great opportunity for Waterford there, would have had 2 on with nobody out. Instead, you're right back to the 1 out spot, and you're coming to the bottom of the order.
One misses low and away from Murphy. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Hansel.
So far, it seems to be Murphy's miss. It's falling off to his glove side.
2-1 pop to the right side. Murphy giving chase. This one out of play. It's 2-2. A breaking ball from Murphy. His third strikeout of the outing.
It's so tough when someone throws as hard as Murphy. You try to get the hand started a little quicker to catch up to the fastball. Then he drops that big old Uncle Charlie on you, and you can't stop the hands.
Now the shortstop, Avery Potmeyer. This one gets past Edmiston. Brooker up to second.
We talk about it in each game that we do together, that it's so important to try to win the free bases. So you get the early base runner on, you maximize the entire inning. It's a little bit more stressful. Every pass ball, every wild pitch matters a little bit more.
It's 1 strike to the shortstop, Avery Potmeyer. One to the left side, past the diving effort of Braxton Manson into left field. Brooker looking to come home. Throw in from Litzinger is off the mark. Now going to second is Potmeyer. He's into second base safely. It's 1-0 Waterford.
Got a ball out over the plate, just past the diving infield in the left field, and chance for Waterford to play out in front, and then on the throw home, able to move the batter runner up to second. So now even in a 2-out spot, still got a chance to play a little add-on.
So a 2-out RBI single for Avery Potmeyer. Now the DH, Cole Mullinex. Two hits already in the inning for Waterford.
Makes that play earlier in the inning where they threw across the infield to get the out even that much bigger. Here's where Murphy wants to come get one himself. Don't allow the ball to even go in play for something bad to happen.
Breaking ball misses upstairs. It's 2-2.
Again, on the other side of that, if you're Waterford, all you're looking for here is contact. 2-out spot, put pressure on an infielder to make a 2-out play where any mistake could result in another run.
Back-to-back pitches out of the zone for Murphy, and the count is full, 3-2.
Great at bat. I love how the middle to bottom of the order of Waterford has competed against Murphy here in this inning.
Mullinex, then Johnson on deck. Then it's back to the top of the order for Waterford. Payoff from Murphy. Some more of that competition you talked about to the middle, to the bottom third of the order.
Outstanding, winning those 2-strike pitches. As we watched last game, it increases the pitch count, makes Murphy throw a few more stressful pitches.
3-2 out of the zone. Mullinex to first on a 2-out walk. Now the left fielder, Cam Johnson.
Well, it didn't miss by much, but now it does a couple things. One, it forces him to throw a few more pitches. Even if you don't come up with a 2-out hit, it's going to turn the order over and allow Waterford to have their leadoff man up next inning.
Now the catcher, Hayden Jones, or excuse me, Cam Johnson. Jones is on deck.
A lot of youth in the Waterford lineup as well. We talked about Sims Valley last game.
Johnson, just a sophomore, a big RBI spot here. The 0-1 misses low. It's 1-1.
Not a bad mound visit here. Just making sure you calm him down a little bit, understanding he's got the guy at the plate he wants. You do not want to turn this thing back over to the top of the order.
One for Murphy, chopped right back to the mound. Murphy takes it himself. Easy 1-3 put out to put a cap on this half of the inning. Wildcats strike first. It's 1-0 after 2. Top of the third when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place. And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back in Chillicothe, top of the third inning. It's 1-0. Waterford leading Eastern Brown. It's 9-1-2 due up for the Warriors. Peyton McCarthy will get his first plate appearance this afternoon. Then the lineup will turn over with Jaden Florence and Drew Edmiston.
Yeah, we saw the advantage of getting the leadoff guy on base last inning, even though some of the execution didn't go the way as planned for Waterford. It just allowed them multiple opportunities throughout the inning to put some pressure on Eastern. The ball that got to the backstop was able to move a guy up into scoring position, and then the big base hit the left field, puts him out in front.
So Peyton McCarthy, a freshman, batting .250. No extra base hits. 1-0 from Jones, chopped to the right side of the infield. Brooker, leaping effort, throws it over to Hansel for the first out of the inning.
Nice job by Booker to come get it. And again, we talked about the new turf, a little trampoline effect. That last hop maybe got up on him a little quicker than he thought, but he was able to athletically adjust, make the put out.
So Jones now, despite a couple of hit batters, made it all the way through the Eastern Brown lineup without allowing a hit. It's Florence first pitch swinging, pops it up and out to shallow left. There's 2 away.
Yeah, been impressed with Jones here in the early going. Like I said, he had a couple of the inside pitches catch a shoulder. It wasn't like when you say 2-hit batsman, it wasn't like he's been wild all over the place. He's had pretty good command of the strike zone.
First pitch to Edmiston, a cold strike. He went down looking back in the first inning.
Here's a chance to break up the top of the order a little bit if you win a 2-out spot here with the 2-hole hitter in the batter's box with nobody on.
Breaking ball, a called strike. It's 0-2 to the senior, Drew Edmiston. 0-2 from Jones. Edmiston staying alive here in the third inning.
Good to see some pitches here. Jones is flirting with the 4 or 5 pitch inning here.
It's the 0-2 chopped foul once again.
Saw that in the Southeastern game earlier, and about 10 minutes later, they'd put 7 runs on the board.
For Southeastern, we talk a lot about the backside hitting, but pair that with the 2-out hitting. First 2 guys retired on 2 pitches, and then a 7-run inning ensues. Jones comes home with the 1-2.
It's turned into a pretty good at-bat here.
And Shane, you hear a lot of people talk about the quality at-bat and how you don't necessarily have to get on base or drive a runner in to have a quality at-bat. How do you describe a quality at-bat?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You know, in this case, like, for example, right there, that would be a quality at-bat by a lot of people's standards because he won about 3 2-strike pitches. It's, game to game, matchup to matchup, it probably changes for me a little bit. But I thought that kid grinded there and then got caught looking on a really good pitch.
4 strikeouts in 3 innings for Colton Jones. Waterford leading Eastern Brown 1-0. Middle of the 3rd inning here in Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at glocknercdjr@portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium. It's 1-0. Waterford leading Eastern Brown, bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-2-3 due up for the Wildcats. Hayden Jones, Colton Jones, and Xavier Heiss. How about Colton Jones, due up second this inning, has held the Warriors hitless through 3 innings.
Yeah, pitching's been outstanding here. Murphy and Jones making runs hard to come by. And I think Waterford was on to something there last inning where you can get the guy on early in the inning, try to put some pressure on, execute your bunt game, make every ball that gets away from the catcher cost the team 90 feet, and that's what happened last inning. And then when you did get the one hit to left field, it resulted in a chance to score a run.
So the catcher, sophomore Hayden Jones, went down looking to begin the game. First offering misses up and in. It's 1-0.
I feel like Murphy's fastball command's been just a little off on him early on. But overall, it's got great stuff. You can certainly understand where the high strikeout total comes from. Helped him there a little bit. The hard thrower that naturally throws up a little bit, he's going to have a lot of strikeouts, going to have a lot of fly balls, and you've seen that so far. That's the pitch that Waterford's got to lay off on. If they can do that and bring him down, they've got a better chance of hitting top half and putting a little pressure on the eastern infield. There's that pitch we're talking about. It's just up a little bit. It's easy for me to say up here because I'm not in the box. That ball right at the top of the strike zone, maybe even a ball above. There's just not a whole lot you're going to do with it other than swing and miss or hit it straight up in the air.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Murphy the payoff pitch, and it's out of the zone. Leadoff man aboard for the Wildcats. Second time in as many innings.
The pitcher, number 12, Colton Jones.
Both teams have tried to utilize the bunt a little bit. haven't been real successful in getting it down just yet. See if they go back to it here.
As Vance plays up the line at third, Jones takes off from first. Throw down from Edmiston on the hop is not in time.
Straight steal all the way, never had any intention of bunting the ball. Going to steal the base, and so now you're down there at second. Let's see if they're going to swing away or try to bunt him over to third. Murphy's got that little longer, little taller leg kick. Gets him just a little slower to the plate. Makes him just a little easier to run against.
1-1 fouled away, and Shane's speed has been a big factor in some of the games we've seen out here the last week or so.
It is, and that's something that, very well might have been picked up on from the Waterford dugout. Murphy, for as hard as he throws with that leg kick, is about a 1-4, 1-4-5 to the plate, which is one of the slower times.
Chopper to the left side. Here's Vance from third. Can't hang on to it. Unable to get a grip on the baseball. No throw to first. It's first and third. Nobody out for Waterford.
There's the advantage of contact, particularly top half. Chop it into the turf, make the defense make a play. Now Waterford's in business, right in the heart of their order here. 2 on, nobody out. Chance to space themselves out a little bit here.
The third baseman, Xavier Heiss. Heiss, a first-team all-district selection. Down on strikes in the first inning. So Jones takes off from first. No throw from Edmiston. So it's second and third, both runners in scoring position. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning.
Eastern going to shorten the infield up a little bit. Obviously the strikeout pitcher on the mound, but 3-hole here at the plate. Everything's just been left up from Murphy here. Just got to lock in mechanically and find his release point.
Braun Doak on deck for the Wildcats. Had that leadoff single in the second inning.
With nobody out, Waterford might be seeing the ground ball through the infield.
2-1 misses up. 3 balls and 1 strike to Xavier Heiss.
Again, that's a big league take, as the kids like to say. If you can leave that ball alone above the hands against Murphy, you're going to have a much better chance of being successful.
3-1 low and away. That'll load the bases. Second walk of the inning, third of the afternoon for Price Murphy, and we'll have a mound visit now for the Warriors.
Yeah, a little bit of command issue. You have the walk and then the air and then another walk, and before you know it, base is loaded. So the small things, if you just have great at-bats, it doesn't take long for them to add together. So that's where I go back to you asking me about the quality of bat earlier. I know a lot of times people be like, well, what's the matter? He got out. You know what I mean? But you can't look at it that way. When you're facing someone like a Jones today or like a Murphy, you have to look at it as over the course of 7 innings, you're like trying to chop down a tree, right? You're trying to just take your swings at it. And the more you can compete and the more you can make him throw stressful pitches, you get a little bit more look at him, then you can be successful. So every single pitch that you can compete against a pitcher of this quality, it gives your team a better chance to win.
Right fielder, number 9, Braun Doak.
So now the right fielder, Braun Doak, had the first hit of the ball game.
Much easier read now for the base runner because obviously on the ground ball going hard, the base is loaded.
Infield in for Eastern Brown.
And again, he's just above the top of the strike zone for for what the umpire's looking for. They've just got to make the adjustment and get him down a little bit.
A called strike. So the infield remains in for the Warriors. 1-1 straight away left field. Litzinger makes the grab, one away. Tagging from third is Jones, cut off by Braxton Vance. It's 2-0 Waterford.
Good job of hitting the cutoff man, not to allow the guy from second to move up to third. You were never going to throw him out on that depth of fly ball, so good fundamental baseball, good at bat there to get the run in, but also good defense to try to have some damage control, give Murphy a chance to pitch out of this, only allowing the one run.
Doak now 1 for 1 with an RBI. Now the second baseman, Wade Brooker. As Brooker squares to bunt, pop to the left side and foul.
I think the high fastball is giving some of the bunters problems too. You've got to get that bat set at the top of the zone and stay on top of the ball. But again, harder to do than for me to just sit here and talk about it when someone's throwing the ball at the velocity of Murphy.
So 2-0 Waterford leading Eastern Brown. Runners on first and second, one out here in the third inning. 1-1 from Murphy, misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike to Wade Brooker.
Really starting to have command issues. One pitch sitting on your favorite. Don't want to help him here. He's had trouble throwing back-to-back strikes.
3-1 on the outside corner, a cold strike. It's 3-2.
Good pitch. Got one when he needed it. Now he's got to follow it up with another. Just the one out. I wouldn't think they'd start the runners here with the chance of the strikeout.
3-2 from Murphy. Ground ball up the middle. Dotson flips to second. Can they turn 2? No, they cannot. Safe at first. Jones moves to third. It's runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Had just a little trouble getting it out of the glove out there at second base, and a great scoop on the back end, because if that ball, Dewey, if that ball's not scooped cleanly at first base, the lead runner is 3 to 4 steps around third already, was going to score. So a good clean pick, even though it didn't result in the out. Saves the run for now. Gives Murphy a chance with 2 outs to pitch out of it.
So Cole Hansel now, runners on the corners, 2 down in the third inning. Hansel 0 for 1, struck out an inning ago.
See if Waterford does something in the first and third to maybe try to create a run. See if Eastern will throw through or they'll put a play on.
1-0 grounded left side, played straight on by Florence. On to first for the third out of the inning. Wildcats tack on another. 2-0 after 3. Visiting half of the fourth inning when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at glocknercdjr@portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
Back here in Chillicothe, top of the fourth inning. Division VI District Semifinal, Waterford leading Eastern Brown 2-0. 3-4-5 for the Warriors, Jackson Prine, Price Murphy, and Braxton Vance. Colton Jones has been untouchable. The Warriors hitless through 3 innings. As Jones now will face potentially the toughest man in the Warriors lineup for the second time tonight. It's a .439 average, 10 doubles, and 16 RBI. Prine leads the team in all of those categories.
Still plenty of baseball to play here. If you're Eastern, you're coming through the second time of the order. Try to get some better swings on Jones. Put him in a little bit more pressure earlier in one of these innings.
Prine smokes this one down the third baseline and foul. Of course, some district gold set to be handed out later on this afternoon with Huntington and Eastern, followed by South Webster and Southern. Division 6 and 7 district final games. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jackson Prine. See Chad Jenkins walking around the VA, big part in all of the rescheduling that has taken place over the last 24 hours. Excellent work from the Southeast District Athletic Board. Also excellent work from Xavier Heiss on the hot corner. Quick reflexes for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, really good at bat there from Jackson Prine, and Waterford had him shaded that way. He had just missed sneaking one inside the bag there a time or two on the ground ball, and then hit the ball hard, but right into the somewhat shift of the Waterford defense, kind of playing the line there.
Now the pitcher, Price Murphy. Murphy a fly out to center to put a cap on the first inning. Sounds like Green and White Oak have gone to extra innings.
Green and Trimble.
Or excuse me, Green and Trimble.
Which that does surprise me. Again, I know the seeds would tell you not to. Trimble's a good baseball team. I was thoroughly impressed with them, and the young man they were going to put on the mound today is going to give them a chance to beat anybody.
2-2, swing and a miss. Fifth strikeout for Jones. There's 2 away in the fourth.
Yeah, doing nothing fancy to what Jones is doing. I do think that the ball comes out of the glove there, a little bit of a unique arm angle, and kind of maybe gets on the hitter a little bit, but he just has real good command, throws to both sides of the plate.
Now the third baseman, Braxton Vance. .346 average, a district honorable mention. So he sends this one to straightaway center right at Jared Heiss. 3 up, 3 down for the Warriors. Colton Jones keeping Eastern Brown hitless through 4, middle of the 4th here in Chillicothe. Bottom third of the order due up for the Wildcats when we return. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par Mar has it. Download the Par Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Back here in Chillicothe, it's 2-0. Colton Jones has been Colton Jones through 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, no hits for Eastern Brown offensively.
The shortstop, number 8, Avery Wildmeyer.
That actually might be the White Oak Miller game that's in extra innings.
Was it the White Oak Miller game?
Yeah, it looks like it's in the 8th inning, tied 5-5.
Maybe that's what it was. I couldn't hear who the teams were.
So on the reschedule, I don't know if Trimble Green already played this morning or if that's the game to follow the White Oak.
So Green already beat Trimble. It was 4-1 final. That was at 10 a.m. White Oak and Miller, I believe, is the game that is into 8 innings. Though we almost had a 10 a.m. game here. That was the original plan if all 4 district finals had been set. I got here at 8. I would have had to have gotten here at 7 a.m. Which, again, as an athlete, I would say I'm definitely not a morning person, but I don't think it bothers me as much anymore.
Yeah.
There's a big difference when we were talking about getting up at 7 a.m. to come sit in a chair and watch a game versus getting up at 8 or 9 a.m. to play in a game.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Especially in a district tournament. Podmeyer down on strikes.
Well, it's one of the times where Murphy's able to get ahead, and when he's able to get the Waterford hitters to chase that pitch up in the zone, that's when he's going to be successful. I mean, look at it. You know, on the board there, he's only given up 2 hits. A lot of it's been some command issues. You had the 1 key error that extended the inning.
First pitch swinging Mullinex. Left center Mason Riggs. Underneath of it, 2 away.
We got Murphy 4 there on the K side, about 4 or 5 maybe. Just had the one this inning too. The
4 of them.
4 of them. Yes, I mean if you're Waterford, you're facing a guy that's used to striking out 2 per inning, and you're able to put the ball in play just a little bit more.
Johnson first pitch swinging as well. Pops it up in the shallow infield. It's Jaden Florence for the 3rd out of the inning. Quick half inning of work for Price Murphy. The bottom third of the order for Waterford goes down in order. Top of the 5th when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
So, Green is going to play the winner of whoever survives this White Oak Miller game.
Back here in Chillicothe, top of the 5th. 6, 7, 8. Due up for Eastern Brown. It's Mason Riggs, Kane Dotson, and Will Litzinger. So the Warriors still looking for their first base knock here in the 5th inning.
Leading off for Eastern, center fielder number 3, Mason.
Colton Jones has been untouchable through 4 innings of work. And you talk about ways to get to a guy like Colton Jones. He's only thrown 55 pitches and for the most part has been unhittable. Something we saw from Sims Valley that worked out pretty well. Just try to see more pitches, force the guy to throw more pitches, maybe less aggressive earlier in the count.
Yeah, and Jones, to Jones's credit, he's been really, really good at attacking the hitter and coming right at him.
Into foul ground, Braun Doak. Unable to bring it in. It's 0-2.
Good hustle
man,
from all
Mason
3
Riggs.
of them. Yeah, just kind of ended up overrunning that one there. Had plenty of ground made up to make the play, but see if Eastern can take some new life here. Desperate need of a base runner, no matter how it comes.
0-2 to right center. Doak backtracking, makes the grab, 1 away.
Ball comes off the bat and turns him around a little bit. Did a good job of adjusting and coming back over the other shoulder and gloving it.
Now the second baseman, Kane Dotson. One to the left side, backhanded by Heiss. On to first for the 5-3 putout, 2 away.
Again, good formula. Throw a bunch of strikes, make a lot of routine plays. First, the outfielder on the tough ball hit the right there, and then now the ground ball to third. 2 up, 2 down. The beat rolls on.
As Will Litzinger strides in, flew out to Potmeyer at shortstop. Back in the second inning. Ground ball left side, another nice play by Heiss. Throw across the diamond is in time. 3 up, 3 down.
Good strong arm.
Home half of the 5th when we return. Another hitless frame for Colton Jones. 1-2-3 due up for the Wildcats. And they're half of the 5th inning. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at GlocknerCDJR@Portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glowhio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
Some score updates from a little further south from here in the Division VII tournament. The Green Bobcats moving on to tomorrow's D7 district final with a 4-1 win over Trimble, White Oak, and Miller. Currently knotted up in the top of the 9th inning. It's a number 3 versus a number 11 game.
Yeah, well, in that Trimble Green, you knew it was going to be well pitched with 2 good arms there, and Green advances, and now White Oak and Miller. You know, obviously Miller's had a nice run at it late here, and we know how well coached White Oak's going to be, and we'll see who can survive that and advance to tomorrow.
So for the 3rd time in the game, Hayden Jones will lead things off for the Wildcats. We've talked about how dangerous it is to have your top third of the order bat in that order. Jones pops it up and out of play. So far, the top third for the Wildcats is a combined 0 for 4. Couple of walks, 1 for Jones and 1 for Heiss. Jones did come around to score in the 3rd inning. Now behind against Price Murphy, 0-2. 0-2, breaking ball, swing and a miss. 5th strikeout for Price Murphy.
Talked about Murphy pitching at the top of the zone. When you're ahead in the count, you're going to have a better opportunity to get that chase rate because obviously you don't want to go down looking. Early in the count, the patience from Waterford has been what's caused him to get behind a little bit, and that's what hurt him in the inning where he's given up some runs.
Breaking ball to Colton Jones, misses upstairs, 1-0. So you start to see some Eastern and Huntington players and fans rolling into the VA.
Crowd certainly picking up a little bit. Yeah, this morning wasn't a huge crowd for the early part of that first game, but then it picked up a little bit. Southeastern doing some scouting on both groups. It sounds funny, Dewey, but sometimes the better the hitter against the strikeout pitcher like Murphy, the more aggressive they're going to be, which plays into his hands. Does that make sense? Whereas you get to the middle to bottom of the order, I thought Waterford gave some really mature at-bats in terms of some of the pitches they were taking.
1-2 up the middle, past the diving effort of Jaden Florence. And a 1-out single for Colton Jones.
Yeah, Murphy gets the ground ball, but hit fairly hard. Again, on this turf, if it's not hit right at the infielder, it's got a real good chance of finding its way through.
3rd hit for the Wildcats today.
One out spot here, playing with a 2-run advantage. See how he chooses to handle. Remember, we talked about Murphy, even though he throws pretty hard, with the leg kick a little slower to the plate on my clock. See if they look to push the running game.
Heiss first pitch swinging, fouls it away.
Keep putting pressure on the defense. It's been a tough day. It's been a tough day defensively here.
Pitch number 83 now. This one's grounded up the middle, backhand by Florence onto first. Diving effort up the line is not in time. 2nd out of the inning as Heiss grounds out. Jones up to 2nd, there's 2 down.
It's a bang-bang play. You wonder if he hurts himself on the slide there rather than going on through. It was a perfect double play type of ball in a normal situation, but they'd started the runner, which forced the shortstop have to retrace his steps and backhand that ball a little bit.
Now the right fielder, Bron Doak, he's 1 for 1. Singled in the second, sac fly in the third. Sac fly to extend the Wildcats' lead to 2.
It's a big spot here, 2-0. Eastern still right where they need to be to try to come back and get even in this thing. This third run would go a long way for Jones, Waterford and company. We're 1 out short of completing 5 innings and already have 3 errors on the board for Eastern, and then you throw in 1 ball to the backstop and a couple other balls that probably should have resulted in more than the Eastern defense was able to do with it.
Two balls and 1 strike down to Bron Doak. Doak to left center field. That's down for a base hit. Jones around third. He will score. Doak is up to second. And a 2 out, 1 RBI double. It's 3-0 Waterford.
Great swing there and a big, big run. Stretches out to 3-0 now and gives Jones a little bit more to play with there as he's going to take a no-hitter back out to the mound here this next half inning.
Doak now 2 for 2 with a couple of RBI. Now the second baseman, Wade Brooker.
Now the announcers are allowed to talk about the no-hitter, right? Just not everybody else in the ballpark?
I think so. I think it differs from, because obviously you get into the MLB and each team has their own broadcast team. I think if you talk about your own no-hitter, that might be a no-no.
Okay.
But we're neutral, so I think
Yes.
it's okay. So if this was a nationally broadcasted game, I think it would be a fair game.
I think a big factor for Waterford throughout today has just been their ability to put the ball in play. Against the high strikeout guy, they've been able to limit the strikeouts.
2-1 to shallow right. Murphy in for the grab to retire the side here in the 5th inning. Wildcats bring another home. It's 3-0. Top of the 6th when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new Pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par-Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par-Mar has it. Download the Par-Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par-Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium, home of the Chillicothe Paints. Top of the 6th inning in this Division VI District Semifinal. It's Colton Jones out for what will be his 6th inning of work so far. 5 innings, no hits, 5 strikeouts for Jones. Set to face the 9-1-2 batters, Peyton McCarthy, Jaden Florence, and Drew Edmiston.
Well, still an opportunity here for Eastern. Just a 3-run game. Just got to be able to create some sort of spark, and so far been a couple hit batsmen against Jones, and that's about all the base runners they've had to show.
.10 up the middle, and that'll get through for a base hit. First one of the afternoon for Eastern Brown comes by way of the designated hitter, Peyton McCarthy.
Good start there. Still a lot of baseball to play here. You just got to be able to string a few hits together, get a few guys on, and give yourself a chance. We talked about it in this ballpark. If you get some guys on, it just takes one swing of the bat into the gap here, and you can really create some offense in a hurry.
Now Florence, first pitch swinging this one down the right field line. Don't giving chase, and foul ground makes the over-the-shoulder catch for the first out of the inning.
It's a really good play and a big out there. To come back to the top of the order there, that's probably, unless you get to extra innings, probably going to be the last chance for the leadoff man, so it becomes a big out.
Now Drew Edmiston. So breaking ball to Edmiston finds the zone. It's 0-1. Top of the 6th inning, Waterford leading Eastern Brown 3-0. McCarthy with a leadoff single, back in head first slide safely.
Jones has been able to keep things pretty comfortable. Hasn't had to throw a whole lot of stressful pitches, so that's what Eastern's trying to accomplish here. Batting here in the 2-hole, if able to give one more base runner to allow the 3, 4, 5 some swings out of here, chance to get right in this thing.
1-1 in on the hands, yanked foul. 1-2 to Edmiston.
Jones does such a good job of missing the center of the plate, the center as we like to call it. He throws up, down, and out, and rarely does he miss right out over the plate. That's why you've seen so many balls hit really well but foul down the third base side, is he's getting the ball in off the plate, where that's pretty much all you can do with that pitch is hit it foul.
One-two straightaway center. Heiss moves into the right center field gap, makes the grab, 2 away. Now the first baseman, Jackson Prime.
Good outfield defense here. First right field, now center field. Got 2 outs. Even though the big bat from the 3-hole here with Jackson Prime comes up, you know, he's only representing what would be the 2nd run and a 3-run advantage.
Prine a bit off balance, fouls it away. Top 3 in the Warriors batting lineup, combined 0 for 7. Prine was hit by a pitch back in the 1st inning. Jones works ahead, 0-2.
It's been in on him twice to get ahead of him, 0-2. Let's see if he's going to show the fastball out or if he's going to go with the soft stuff away.
0-2, chopped to the left side, righted Xavier Heiss. Over to first for the 5-3 put out to end the inning. 3-0, Waterford leading Eastern Brown. As Colton Jones works around a leadoff base knock to retire the next three. Bottom of the sixth when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie and Son Trucking. Willie and Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie and Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium. It's 3-0. Waterford leading Eastern Brown in their half of the sixth inning. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Wildcats. Cole Hansel, Avery Potmeyer, and Cole Mullinex.
Been a well-pitched game from Murphy on one side, Jones on the other. Waterford with single runs in the second, the third, and the fifth. That's how we arrived here, and it's really been just kind of piecing some things together against Murphy. Murphy struggled with his command there earlier in the game, and a couple of those base runners were able to be manufactured into single runs, as I said there in that second, third, and fifth. Then obviously Jones, gosh, I think he's only allowed 3 base runners total, 1 hit, so he's been terrific. Waterford's defense has been perfect to this point. Eastern's had a few miscues that certainly played a role in those 3 runs.
Leading off for Waterford, first baseman number 44, Cole Hansel.
So the first baseman, Cole Hansel, will lead things off for the Wildcats. Hansel, first pitch swinging, chops it to the shortstop, Florence. Picks it off the turf and on to first, 1 away.
Play from Florence there, got caught in a little short hop, able to pick it clean. Throw a strike across the diamond. 1 pitch, 1 out.
So does that mean if this is a first pitch, or I should say a 1 pitch, 1 out, we're going to have 7 runs in the inning?
Yeah.
We've seen it once today. Shortstop Avery Potmeyer. He's 1 for 2, singled in the second, also drove in a run.
Where if you're Waterford, you want to continue to grind the way you have offensively throughout the day. It's easy to look up there on the board and think, you know, we're 3 outs from the district championship game and just want to kind of hurry through and get back out there on defense. You still got to compete on offense, always looking to add on.
0-2 pitch the opposite way. That falls in for a 1-out single. Second hit of the day for Potmeyer.
Well, we've highlighted it throughout the afternoon here. To be successful against someone throwing a little bit harder with good off speed, got to be able to shoot the ball the other way, and that was textbook there. Not trying to do too much with it. Shoots it to right field for a hit.
Now the designated hitter, Cole Mullinex.
Keep in mind this Waterford team finished second to the Reedsville Eastern team we're going to see here in just a little bit in the TVC Hawking Division. If you're not familiar with the TVC, it's a Hawking Division and Ohio Division. The Hawking, a little bit of the smaller school, but they play really good baseball. That's Eastern and Waterford and Trimble, Southern, Fed Hawk, and Belpre. Over on the Ohio side, you get a little bit of the bigger schools. Remember, we saw Wellston here the other night. Athens won that half. Athens, Wellston, Alexander, River Valley, Vinton County. And who am I missing there? Oh, Meigs, Pomeroy Meigs.
And you just ripped right through the whole TVC. I'm pretty familiar with most of the conferences, but I would have probably struggled a little bit.
My brother did coach down there for 20 years, so that helps me a little bit down there at Vinton County.
And it is interesting when you look at some of these conferences that are split up that way, or sometimes instead of a different name, it's the 1 and the 2. And I don't believe any other conference does it, but you look to a conference like the Shack, and it's split, I think, 6 teams in each one. You play the teams on your side twice, that's 10 games, but you also play the teams on the other side once, and it counts towards the league record.
What's interesting about that, and I think their enrollment size schools allow them a little bit more wiggle room to do that. That'd be really hard and unfair at times in the TVC some years. But what's interesting about that is I think they feel more like a conference. If you talk to people in the TVC over the years, you know, no one from Vinton County feels like they're in the same conference as Trimble anymore. You know what I mean? So I don't think you have that same connection from a conference standpoint.
And I think that's something you would find with a lot of the conferences that maybe share that first name, but they're separated by a number, or in this case, a name, whether it's Hocking, Ohio. We have a mound visit here for Eastern Brown. I think if you ask a lot of people, you know, we'll talk about New Boston, do you feel like you're in the same conference as Waverly or Wheelers? But probably not, because that's not who you play. You play,
right.
You know, you play Sodaville East, you play Portsmouth Clay. Those are the teams that you're going to play on a year-to-year basis. You play Portsmouth. I don't think it would be fair. And I think the thing about the Shack is, despite them being separated by size, they're not all that different. Whereas the SOC 3, you have Waverly there. Well, I guess it was D2 now. I think they're D4. And then you go down to the SOC 3 or the SOC 1, and you have New Boston Clay. Those are D7 teams.
Yeah.
So I think the gap is a little different. Whereas in the Shack, you have some teams like Fairfield. I know they've jumped back and forth a couple of times between the Shack 1 and 2.
Yeah, and again, we touched on this earlier in the week. The X factor in the money bus is football. So a lot of times, you know, on how conferences have to battle that football schedule is what's going to end up dictating the entire thing, where in the Shack they don't have to worry about that.
So Cam Johnson, the left fielder, is aboard up to bat with 2 runners on base. Johnson, he's 0 for 2.
Both teams in this game have struggled to get the bunt down. And chases that ball up in the zone, and trouble here. Let's see if Murphy goes back up there again. Again, the Waterford middle to bottom of the order has done a pretty good job of staying off of that pitch today.
2-2 chopped foul as Johnson staying alive. 107 pitches now for Bryce Murphy.
Waterford does hold on. It'll be interesting to see what type of pitching they're able to bring back tomorrow at 5 against Southeastern, who will be forced to go into their pitching rotation into the 2 or 3 spot.
6th strikeout for Bryce Murphy. There's 2 down in the 6th.
To that point here in the 6th inning, 6 strikeouts, only 1 per inning pitch, where coming in on the year, a pretty large sample size of 50 plus, right around 100 strikeouts. to me, that's been the difference. Waterford's ability to cut the strikeouts in half and put the ball in play a few more times is what's allowed them to be successful enough to get 3 runs on the board.
Top of the order now with Hayden Jones. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Came around to score in that 3rd inning.
Man, I couldn't imagine facing Murphy on a day where you had an umpire that was willing to stretch the top of the zone just a little bit more. Because looking there, I feel like the umpire's been very consistent today, but he hasn't really liked that ball up.
Ground ball left side for Jones. Gets through for a base hit, and it gets past the left fielder, Litzinger. Potmeyer scores. Mullinex around 3rd. Relay in from left. There's no throw, and it's 5-0 Waterford.
Not a lot flashy about this Waterford group, you know what I mean? You can tell they like each other. They play hard for one another, and they play together. Not a lot of flash to them. You're not going to see a lot of the extra stuff. It's just about baseball.
An RBI single for Hayden Jones as 2 runners come home to score. You think he's in the starting lineup for Eastern?
I was going to say, he's got you a future Eagle down there.
Line drive to right, that's down in front of Murphy. It's Jones around 3rd, he'll come home to score, and it's 6-0. RBI single for Colton Jones.
Looks like we're on a pitching change here.
Colton Jones now 2 for 4 with an RBI. Murphy up to 113 pitches. And he'll come out of the game, a pitching change for the Warriors. Looks like it's going to be Jaden Florence. We'll take a break and come back with all of the defensive changes for the Warriors. After this, you're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Now here's a little Wendy's menu hack for you. If you want a super fresh, high-quality burger every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And then they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No code words required. Every single hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really a menu hack. When it's made fresh every time, gotta be Wendy's.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Back here in Chillicothe, it's Jaden Florence in relief for Price Murphy, and it's also just a straight flop. So Florence in from short to pitch, and Murphy off the mound to shortstop. For Florence, a sophomore, his 9th appearance, he's tossed 16 1/3 innings, 5.57 ERA, along with 20 strikeouts. Does have 3 saves on the season. Clearly not a save opportunity, but a player that the Warriors are comfortable going to in the later innings.
Reds still looking for their first hit today through 5, but luckily Lodolo throwing a 3-hit shutout himself, so they're tied at 0.
And Lodolo struggled a little bit his last 4 or 5 starts, so nice get-back game for him as this one finds its way through the infield. 3rd straight single, 4th of the inning for the Wildcats.
Funny how baseball works. The hits seem to come in bunches. One guy finds a hole and then another guy bloops one in before you know it, 3-4 straight guys. Just a little bit more confident up there. And how many things have we seen today with 2 outs?
First hit of the day for Xavier Heiss. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Now Braun Doak. Doak's 2 for 2. He's knocked in a pair. And this one hits him. That'll load the bases for Wade Brooker.
Second baseman, number 11, Wade Brooker.
Brooker still looking for his first hit this afternoon. Nice pick by Edmiston on the pitch and the turf. Brooker's 0 for 3. He did reach on an error in the second, came around to score. Despite being hitless, he has reached base safely twice.
Well, and that's really the name of the game. You know, you're trying to get guys on. I thought it was the middle to bottom of the order back there in the second, third inning that really started to spark Waterford a little bit.
Brooker, the 9th batter of the inning. This one chopped foul on the third baseline. Cole Hansel led things off for the Wildcats. He's currently on deck. Two from Florence, right back up the middle. Drops in front of Riggs. Jones scored. Heiss around third. He will score as well, and it's 8-0.
Now all of a sudden that 9th and 10th run out there on the bases, that'd be enough to end it here in the 6th.
First baseman, number 44, Cole Hansel.
Brooker now 1 for 4 with 2 runs batted in. The Wildcats have batted around in the 6th inning.
I think the Southeastern bus is headed out. Still got some coaching staff finishing their scouting report.
Hansel pops it up. Left center, it's Mason Riggs for the 3rd out of the inning. Wildcats tack on 5 more, it's 8-0. Top of the 7th inning. 4, 5, 6 due up for the Warriors when we return to Chillicothe. You're watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey everyone, Mike Glockner.
I'm Brandon Callahan.
Of the all-new Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center in Portsmouth, Ohio. We have a $39.95 oil change special going on right now. That includes a free tire rotation and free multi-point inspection. Schedule your appointment online at GlocknerCDJR@Portsmouth.com.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium. It's Colton Jones going to look to make it a complete game shutout. He's just allowed 1 hit. To the Eastern Brown Warriors, it's 8-0.
Yeah, working on the 1-hit shutout. He's been really sharp from start to finish. hit a few guys early with some inside curveballs. Other than that, just the one hit, it's been a pretty empty base pass. But just as I say that, we do get a leadoff hit here to start the 7th.
So Price Murphy leads off the 7th inning with a base knock, just the 2nd today for Eastern Brown. He's now 1 for 3.
Overall, pretty efficient day for Jones.
Jones struck out 5 in the first 4 innings, hasn't had a strikeout in the last 2. It's the 1-0 grounded to the left side, fielded by Heiss. Throw on to second. Can they turn 2? No, they cannot. Off target throw on the turn allows Vance to reach safely.
Yeah, it had been bang bang there at first. Nice job of getting the lead guy. Obviously, we talked about this in the Southeastern game earlier. 8-0, obviously you need outs. He went ahead and went the short way to second, make sure of 1 out. You certainly take the double play. Throw pulls him off the bag just a little bit. Like I said, I think it would have been a bang bang play.
Now the center fielder, Mason Riggs. Riggs 0 for 2 with the strikeout.
Good pitch there. Gets down in the zone a little bit. Swings right over top on the 2-0 pitch. Probably sitting on something a little bit more middle of the plate.
And Jones fights back, evens it up at 2-2.
I don't even remember him being in very many 3-ball counts today. I know he, like I said, he hit the 2 guys early.
Has not walked a batter. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mason Riggs. It's allowed 2 hits and plunked a couple of batters. Payoff on the way, and it's popped up. Straight away right field, Braun Doak makes the grab, 2 away.
Waterford
Warriors
doing a
now
nice
down
job
to their final
defensively
strike.
Second baseman number 2, Kate Dotson.
Dotson, first pitch swinging to the left side. Coming on is Popmeyer onto first. Out of the turf, it's picked by Cole Hansel, and that'll wrap it up. A 2-hit effort for Colton Jones. No runs for the Eastern Brown Warriors. 8-0 the final.
Impressive from Jones. Very efficient on the day. Error-free baseball from Waterford. They kind of nickel and dime it early on offensively to put some runs on the board, and then they break it open there in the 6th. Really complete win as they'll play for a district title.
So the stage is set for the Division VI District Final tomorrow at 5 p.m. It'll be the Southeastern Panthers taking on the Waterford Wildcats. 8-0 the final in this one. Halfway done with our day. Game 3 coming up with the Huntington Huntsmen taking on the Eastern Eagles in a Division VI District Final. So we'll have some gold handed out in our next game and also our last game. Sims Valley, South Webster, and Southern. The first pitch is going to be at about 4:15. We'll take a quick break and come back, go through the stat book, and give any final thoughts for game number 2. You've been watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new Pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And and 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
If there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par Mar has it. Download the Par Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
We welcome you back to VA Memorial Stadium, the final for Game 2, Waterford over Eastern Brown, 8-0. We'll quickly go through the stat book. It won't take a ton of time. As we'll start with Eastern Brown. Price Murphy goes 5 2/3 innings, allowed 6 runs, 7 hits, also had 6 strikeouts. Offensively, Murphy also had a single, 1 for 3, had that last knock in the 7th inning. And Peyton McCarthy goes 1 for 2, had a single in the 6th. Offensively for Waterford, Hayden Jones goes 1 for 3 with an RBI. Colton Jones, 2 for 4, knocked one in. Xavier Heiss goes 1 for 3, did score once. Braun Doak goes 2 for 2, drove in 2 batters. Wade Brooker 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Avery Pottenmeyer goes 2 for 3 with a run scored and drove in 1. Cole Mullinex goes 0 for 1, drew 2 walks, and came around to score. On the mound, Colton Jones goes the complete game, 7 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, didn't walk a single batter.
Extremely complete for Waterford today. Obviously, the incredible pitching, catching, very efficient, air-free baseball behind him, making all the plays. I was impressed with the outfield defense. I thought they did a nice job. And then offensively, they did just enough. Obviously, facing a high strikeout pitcher, I thought the key today was they were able to cut the strikeouts in half. They were able to put a few more balls in play, put some pressure on the Eastern defense. They ended up making 4 errors on the afternoon. And, I wouldn't call it explosive, but I would call it just enough, and especially when you're going to pitch and defend the way they did, and then they did plenty to advance to tomorrow.
And again, Waterford will take on Southeastern tomorrow at 5 p.m. Division VI District Gold on the line in that one. We've got some medals to hand out the rest of the afternoon. The first of our next 2 district finals will take place. I don't believe they've announced an official start time, but I would guess about 4:15, 4:20 is probably what you're looking at for Huntington and Eastern, a Division VI district final, followed up by Southwestern. Wow, I've struggled to get that out all day long. South Webster and Southern wrapping it up. Scheduled for 7 p.m. Obviously, the schedule is subject to change, but that will be a Division VII district final. Should be a good couple of games to round out today, but for this one, that'll wrap it up for our coverage of Southern Ohio District Tournament Baseball. For Shane Combs, I'm Dewey Daly saying so long from VA Memorial Stadium. You've been watching Ohio High School District Tournament Baseball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio.